On World News Tonight this Saturday, America's fourth largest airline.
From ABC News, this is World News Tonight, Saturday.
Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Vargas with an abbreviated version of ABC's World News Tonight. Thousands of airline passengers across the country are scrambling to make other plans today. Pilots at Northwest Airlines walked off the job at midnight, shutting the airline down. Right now, the two sides are not talking, making it unlikely this walkout will end quickly. More than 2,500 flights have been canceled at 223 airports around the world. But some cities are feeling this strike more than others. Minneapolis, Memphis, and Detroit are Northwest hub cities. We begin our coverage with ABC's Jamie Floyd in Minneapolis.
Northwest pilots are on the picket line. At midnight, pilots walked off the job, accusing the nation's fourth largest airline of bargaining in bad faith. From Memphis to Minneapolis and across the Midwest, Northwest Airlines is the major link for 150,000 passengers daily. Their plans now thrown into turmoil. Even with the airline's cancellation of 400 flights before the strike, today's shutdown left passengers scrambling for seats on other carriers.
We're going to get in at 6:10.
Ken and Kelly Rader came to the ticket counter to salvage their honeymoon in England, 1 year in the planning.
Now we're going on KLM out to Amsterdam, and then we're flying from Amsterdam back to London, and hopefully our tour will be able to pick us up.
Northwest controls 80% of the traffic here in Minneapolis-St. Paul. In Fargo, the number is closer to 90%, where its airport today was deserted. In Duluth, Minnesota, Northwest was the only game in town.
Being that it's the only airlines that flies out of here, yeah, it's a big concern, because otherwise I'd have to drive to Minneapolis.
With no passengers at the gates, no tickets being sold, and no revenue coming in, the pilots' walkout is bound to take a toll on Northwest's other employees. Many are concerned how the strike will affect them.
Me and my husband, we both work here, so we'll both be out of jobs probably by Wednesday.
Northwest and its pilots have been negotiating for 2 years. In the end, the two most contentious issues, pay and job security, were the ones on which neither side would compromise. The pilots feel the company owes them for pay cuts during harder times for the airline.
In 1993, this company was on the brink of bankruptcies. The pilots stepped up to the plate. They did what was necessary to keep the company going, to make the company profitable.
We offered to tie pay to the average of the big three airlines, United, American, and Delta, airlines that are much bigger than us.
With no talks scheduled, the real impact will be felt tomorrow. Sundays are the airline's busiest. Jamie Floyd, ABC News, Minneapolis.
This is Bob Woodruff in Washington. According to Northwest Airlines, a 10-day strike would cost the company $127 million in lost revenues, and businesses across the country will suffer. In Northwest's major hubs, Detroit, Memphis, and Minnesota, cab drivers are already sitting idle.
If there are no flights coming into the Twin Cities, the cab business at the airport is finished.
Flower shops have lost one of their major supply lines, Northwest Cargo, and fresh fish that used to come in on Northwest jets now has to be shipped by more expensive couriers.
There will be some places that we just can't get fish from, like Hawaii, I think will be real difficult.
According to Northwest, the rippling costs of this strike, from higher prices, lost wages in business, could reach $2 billion a month. But Minnesota's state economist says his state will survive.
The Northwest strike will be an inconvenience, but it's not the kind of thing that's going to bring Minnesota's economy or the region's economy to its knees.
The strike could further erode Northwest's stock price, which has already lost half its value since March. Fortunately, most businesses and passengers saw this strike coming and were able to prepare. If they had not, economists say, the cost to this country could have been even higher. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Washington.
A Cuban airliner with 82 people on board crashed on takeoff today in Quito, Ecuador. At least 74 people are reported dead. Some of those victims were on the ground. Witnesses say the Russian-made plane crashed into a street at the end of the runway. The flight was headed to Havana. We'll be right back after this break with more news in a moment.
This is World News Tonight, Saturday. Brought to you by Just 5.
With all this
things a woman has to do today. Does it really make sense to keep color in your hair for 30 minutes when you can get rid of the gray in 5 with just 5? Just 5 makes gray disappear in 5 minutes and gently brings back the beauty of your natural color. Good healthy body and shiny shine too. So given a choice between 30 minutes or 5, please. Just 5. Smart hair color. Works for me.
1 Minute Maalox.
Heartburn at this hour is a nightmare, that unbearable burning. I need something that starts to work fast. The minute I take Maalox, I know help is on the way.
1 Minute Maalox. Cooling, coating, calming. You can feel it right away. Maalox goes to work on stomach acid in 1 minute. Pepcid AC could take over 45 minutes to affect acid.
I can't afford to lose any sleep. Thanks, Maalox.
For heartburn or acid indigestion, count on 1 Minute Maalox.
Sweet honey, crunchy nuts on classic Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Sorry, did I wake you?
Kellogg's Honey Crunch Corn Flakes, an altogether great breakfast.
Life's an adventure because you're over 50 and still exploring. So take the Centrum made just for you, Centrum Silver, with age-essential nutrients specially adjusted to keep pace with your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver, it's a great time to be silver.
Last year, when pilots at American Airlines walked out, President Clinton stepped in to end the strike. But this time, he says the two sides will have to work it out themselves. Tomorrow, the president heads to Russia, which is deep in a financial and political crisis. Some think this is not the time for a summit. ABC's Ann Compton is in Moscow.
It was calm on the streets of Moscow. Recent panic over the economic crisis seems to have subsided into a weary kind of resignation.
Outside help won't solve our problems. You make your bed, you lie in it.
Today, the man who must fix Russia's economy, acting Prime Minister Viktor Chernomyrdin, appointed a team of respected reformers to help him turn the economy around. Most importantly, he signaled to America and the West there will be no return to a socialist-controlled economy.
We have already joined the world economy. There will be no turning back.
That was not what they wanted to hear at the Parliament or Duma, where the opposition groups want more government economic control. And communist leaders spent today considering ways to increase their own authority. It is this power struggle that President Clinton will encounter next week. And his scheduled meeting with opposition groups is taking on a new meaning. As Chernomyrdin and the communist Duma leaders grow in political power, the man in the Kremlin is losing his. Because this is a moment of such transition for President Boris Yeltsin, some say it's a bad time for President Clinton to come for a summit.
Now he has to come and support Yeltsin and show that he is still backing Yeltsin and trying to help him to survive. But at the same time, Yeltsin is becoming weaker and weaker.
Yeltsin has always been able to count on President Clinton's support, but for this summit, the Americans are going out of their way to show they are listening to everyone, not just President Yeltsin. Ann Compton, ABC News, Moscow.
More on the crisis in Russia and the upcoming summit tomorrow morning on This Week with Sam Donaldson and Cokie Roberts. Immigration officials are trying to decide what to do with more than 170 people found aboard a ship off Baja, California. The passengers are believed to be illegal immigrants from China. The female passengers have been taken aboard a Coast Guard cutter while the men remain on their ship, awaiting word from the government. The Marine Corps is considering additional charges against the pilot and navigator whose plane downed a cable car in Italy 6 months ago. 20 people died in the accident. Officials are convening the military equivalent of a grand jury to investigate whether the two aviators tried to obstruct justice. They already face charges of involuntary manslaughter and negligent homicide. That is our report for this evening for World News Tonight, Saturday. Thanks so much for joining us for this abbreviated edition. Have a great evening. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. For all of us, good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now always on.